Cyber Reapers. Hello, Cyber Reapers. So, tonight or today, whenever, wherever you are, I would like to talk about a book. A book. So, this one has been hyped up quite a bit, and so going into it, I knew like a little bit about it, but I didn't know a lot. And I'm so happy that I'm catching up now on just how great this book is. It is worth all of the hype. So if you've heard anything good about it, it's good. Yeah. And I'm about to tell you how good it is. Or at least I'm going to tell you the parts of the premise that are talked about in the marketing, so that I don't give away anything too far. And just talk about like some of the stuff I loved. So let's get to it, right? So this book is called Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. And it is a contemporary fantasy, and it's young adult. So what happens, right? Oh, I gotta remember the university name, because our main character, Bree, she gets admitted to like a early college class kind of university program, and it is at UNC, there we go, UNC Chapel Hill. So she's attending some classes at this university as like a high school student. She's 16. Bree, though, on her first night there, she goes out for like kind of some partying with some other people, and also her best friend named Alice. And the two of them, like, they go, but things don't go as expected, because the party gets disrupted by a monster. Thing is, though, most of the people there can't see the monster, yet Bree can. And, so a couple of people come in, though, and they take charge and take down the monster. But first, they cast a spell on the people there, the other students there, to have them essentially go away and forget about this, forget seeing whatever it is they thought they saw. And this almost works on Bree. She almost walks away for a while, having forgotten she saw this monster. However, she quickly remembers, and so she goes back and she sees a couple of these students take down this monster. And, she hides from them because she's skeptical, and she's going, oh, this is weird. I don't know what's going on here. But she feels, she's cautious about telling people about this experience, because clearly she was supposed to forget. But the more she goes through her week, the more she starts to like discover more about what was going on. And that is, there's a secret society on this campus, and this secret society spreads, around the world. I've got to be careful about all the terminology, because the terminology was explained really well in the book, and you get it over time. But I think I don't want to like just say a bunch of things at you without you having read the book. So to try to explain it as clear as I can, I'll say the secret society started with King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. And King Arthur decided, like, okay, we're gonna cast some spells to make it to where our descendants can kind of draw on our power. So the King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, their descendants form this society. So without getting into the terminology too much, that's kind of the basic gist. The descendants form this society, and they fight back against evil monsters, essentially. And there's also like Welsh terms in there as well that are really neat to read. But again, I'm not going to go into the terminology. That stuff you kind of learn organically through the book, as well as the lore. And there's a lot of it, but it's really neat, really immersive. And I'm just trying to kind of parse through it enough to like give you a basic gist. But that's what this secret society is that Bree has stumbled into discovering. And what's more is her mom recently died in a car accident, and she's still grieving over this. But whenever she kind of woke up her memory of the monster that attacked the campus, some other memories stirred up, and she realized that this spell had been cast on her before. So someone tried to make her forget something about the night that her mother died. And so she thinks, oh, maybe the society has some answers on Bree's mother's death. Maybe there's something more there than what meets the eye. So Bree is determined to essentially infiltrate and join the society so that she can have answers. That is her, at the beginning, that is her sole motivation for joining. The more she learns, though, the more that she realizes that there's a lot going on with this society. It's not as surface level as it seems, and there's a war coming. And turns out the person that she kind of enlisted for help to like get into this society, this person is like the most respected out of his generation because of reasons, and I'm not sure the blurb says why, so I'm not gonna say why. But he's highly respected, and so Bree gets tangled up with like joining and with him, and there's a lot of stuff with oaths, and there's a lot of bonds that are really strong and really particular to this secret society, and there's a lot of magic that's really interesting, and just there's a lot to learn, and it's so tangled up, and it's a wonderful, wonderful mess. And I mean that in a positive way, a positive mess. There's a lot. And Bree just kind of steps into it not knowing anything about this beforehand, while everybody else around her in the society grew up in this, so they know everything already about the society. And she's just kind of stepping in. And so that leads to also some tension, because she's new, and it looks like she just kind of stepped in there all of a sudden and is getting special treatment. What else about that? Oh yes, what's especially makes it difficult on her is that Bree is black. This secret society that's descended from like the Arthurian legend knights is predominantly white and affluent, and they do not care much for they don't care for other human beings that are not like them. So that includes in regards to gender and race. So her being a black woman that just kind of shows up out of nowhere, they don't like her, and she has to fight extra hard to be seen as somebody who's worthy of being there, while at the same time what she's fighting for is a little different than what the others are fighting for, because she's searching for answers about her mother. And so the more she gets immersed in this, the more she has to go, okay, am I really wanting to stay here, you know? And a lot of this book, there's a lot of moments where like the colonial structures are very much not only questioned but also like fought back against, and spotlit for just how problematic and troublesome they are, and a lot of microaggressions as well. And the book really does not shy away from pointing out how even people who are trying not to be racist can still be racist. You have to keep learning and listening and correcting your actions as you go, and as you learn more about, like, hey, this is racist, even though you didn't grow up thinking it was anything bad. This is how it comes across. And there's a lot about ancestry in this book. I mean, not just, the Arthurian legend ancestry, but also with Bree connecting to her own ancestors. And the book really, really does not shy away from pointing out, like, hey, this secret society has, like, the privilege of being able to actually know who their ancestors. Black people in America do not, it's so messed up. All of the things that are pointed out that are, like, the basis of pride in the secret society are built directly off of the backs or are actively hurting black people. And so Bree stepping into this society is a big, I guess it's not a wake-up call for the people in it as much as it's just, like, really showing the reader just how different Bree's life is versus these people, because of her ancestry and her lived experience. And it's the magic in the book as well really draws off of that difference as well, because the magic system isn't just one set thing, but different people practice different types of magic. Some magic forms are a little more colonial, and another is a more respectful of the earth and elders and magic, or ancestry. And so there are different types of magic that go with different types of just matching kind of the structures of, say, the society versus people who are outside of it. And so there's a lot to the magic system and a lot of commentary that it provides as well. Everything's so intertwined so well with just everything in the story. It's so well done. And I love it. Yeah. Okay. What else did I want to say? Oh, right, I don't remember if I mentioned, but I love that all the characters have strengths and flaws that very strongly impact the story. And I really loved how, in particular, Nick and Cell were kind of developed that way. And by the way, those two are two people Bree becomes close to. And it's just, yeah, I love how all the characters are just, they've all got strengths and faults, and it's very clear. It doesn't matter if it's Bree, the main character, or a love interest, or a best friend. They're all having their own struggles and their own bad ways of dealing with stuff and character growth, and it's all very neat. And I really, really look forward to seeing where it goes in book 2, especially because the ending was so good and so satisfying in this book. I can't say exactly why, but it just is. It's so satisfying. And there's a couple of twists as well that are really, really, really well played out. I did not see them coming. Well, I saw one of them a little bit, but I only saw it at like the last moment, so I don't think that really counts. But yeah, it just... Oh, this book was so good. And I really look forward to seeing where it goes, because I don't exactly know where it's going next. Yeah. And Bree is like such a good main character to follow too. I feel like she just... the way she chooses when to stand her ground and in what way. She's very smart, very intelligent, and like is very... She picks when to fight her battles, I guess. And she shouldn't have to, but it's part of the society she stumbled into. She's very much a minority. And so she's not going to have nearly as much support as anybody else there is. And so just the way she's so good at defending herself however she can, in any given moment or situation. She just does her best. And her journey that she goes on with regards to her grief for her mother as well is very, very compelling. It's very compelling. And I love the connection between her and her best friend, Alice. And Alice is one of the few other characters who's a person of color. She's East Asian American specifically. And Bree also finds other people of color on campus who she can connect to, particularly black women, and finds a strong kind of support circle there, especially when trying to work through her grief, even when she doesn't want to. And that's a very relatable thing in of itself, trying to push away feelings of just dwelling on mourning and grief, not wanting to go there, not wanting to really think about it, is a very big struggle throughout this book, for Bree. So this book combines together a lot of aspects that really, really work well together. And I think too, my knowledge of like Arthurian legend is not very broad. Like BBC's Merlin is like kind of my extent of my knowledge. But I would say that you don't really need a lot, I don't think, to be able to resonate with what's going on in the book, because they kind of explain as you go the ranks of the knights and why that's important, and who to kind of just who is who, that kind of thing. I don't think it dives like deeply into the characters of like the knights as they were, but just like a little bit of stuff here and there, having to do with the legend and having to do with like weapon choices and what that means for their descendants, what like magic power stuff that they get, and yeah, so I don't think you need the Arthurian legend. I don't think you need to know a lot about that in order to go into this book and have a good time. Or get the story, or understand it, to be more clear. It's, I really need to check out the second book. I have a few books on my list, though, that are checked out from the library right now, and so I have to decide whether I want to read those first or try to get the second book of this series. As of right now, I believe there are 2 more books out, and there might be another one in development, although I'm not sure. So don't completely take my word on that. This book is part of a series, though. It's book 1 of, so far, 3, I believe. Yeah. So I think that is probably about all I have to say about this book. Because I feel like if I were to go on, I'd probably think of a few more things that I really loved and really enjoyed. But I'm a little concerned that I'll just kind of keep rambling over and over about the same things, kind of going in a cycle, because I just want to talk more about this book. And I kind of look forward to going online and seeing if I can find some reader spaces that talk about this book, because I feel like this one is a little more well-known than most of the books I tend to read. So I feel like it might be kind of nice, actually, to like connect with other people on a book that we've all read, or like a lot of people have read, because that means more immersiveness, more getting to see more character art and discussions and theories and stuff. But I'd better catch up on the other ones, I feel like, before diving too deep into that, because I don't want spoilers. And feel free to leave, like, comments about this book if you've read it, of course, like as with any book that I post on here. All I ask is please don't put spoilers in the comments if you can help it, because I plan to read the next 1 or 2, but we'll see when that happens, yeah. Okay. So, thank you so much for listening. You are an awesome listener, and I hope that wherever you go next, whatever you do next, that it is fun and or relaxing and or worthwhile to you. And ideally all 3. Okay.